Hi you guys, this is Miss Felicia Inspire. Today we are doing a 27 piece quick weave with a little bit of length on the side. So I've already prepped her and molded her hair down. All I'm doing now is getting ready to lay down the first track of the 27 piece. And if you haven't already watched any of my other tutorials, you will see how I stretch my tracks and how I mold down my clients. But all I'm going to do is just use my 1 inch out of my 27 piece hair, which will have the bundles, the 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch. And I will link all of that information in the description box. Anytime that you are laying down 27 piece, you want to make sure that you pull those tracks tight, only because you want to keep it, make sure that it's laying very flat. And I'm only going to go from side to side, and I will show you shortly how I do the opposite side by her ear. And you're going to go all the way up to the top of the ear with this, and then you will stop because you will have to add the longer hair on the other side. So just go all the way up to the top of the ear. Now I'm going to lay a tiny little piece to the side, which is going to be her sideburn, and this is the 2 inch hair that I'm using for the sideburn. The thing that I do is I make sure that it's longer than what I need. I rather have more hair than not enough hair. As I get closer to her temple area, I begin to lay down the first track going towards her face. This is going to indicate where your bang will start or stop. The lower you start it, the more hair they'll have in their face. If you go higher, the hair will be more out of their face. After you have gone up enough to the same length as the tracks in the back, you will now begin taking all of those tracks from the side all the way around to the other side, and you will stop these tracks at the top of the ear. And you will continue to do this all the way until you get to the top of the head. Now you will begin laying down your 2 inch tracks. Notice on these, I did not stretch the hair. The reason I didn't stretch it is because you are now going to begin building the volume. Whenever I lay down my 2 inch tracks, I am double tracking. The only reason I double track is because I want it to be very, very thick, and I don't want it to be thin. So whenever I go in to put in my layers, trim it up, it looks very, very full. Now I'm going in laying down my 3 inch track, and this is the longest bundle out of the entire pack. And all you're going to do is have this hair so that it gives that ultimate volume look at the top. It will cover any, whenever you go in to razor it down, it'll have that bump. And this style is very, very easy to do. It doesn't require a whole lot. The only thing you have to do is make sure that you know where you are placing your tracks, how far you need to go up, or where the next track will be laying. It all boils down to your track placement and the length that you use. You will not use all of the hair in the pack for this, but you can kind of modify it the way that you want to, how far you need to go up. But just know that the more hair that you add going up, that will let you know how far back your bang will be. But you will see where when I begin to lay down the longer pieces, how everything will fall. And this is pretty much where I'm going to stop laying down my 27 piece hair. I don't want it to go too far up in the top because I want the bang to be very, very full, and I want it to come back to the middle of her head. But after you laid everything down, make sure that you comb that hair out. Now I will begin razor cutting the hair. Y'all already know I like to take the guard off of my blade. You can try this if you want to, but I highly recommend that if you have never tried this before, do not attempt to do this on a client. But I do this because I get a closer cut whenever I'm doing this. Also, with the blade off, you can get all of the usage out of your blade. And I like to make sure that I keep the cutting portion of the video in real time, because I want you to see that you do not have to rush this process. You want to take your time and cut it. Always remember that your style will always look good if you cut the hair correctly. If you put in nice layers, regardless if the hair fall, it's always going to continue to look good because the cut look good. Now I'm going to go in and cut in some layers. This is going to even up the layers at the top, and you will only be cutting the 3-inch hair that you lay down out of the 27 piece. This is going to give it the illusion as if you curl that hair. You can curl the hair if you want to, but I like to go with the natural flow of the curls. Now I'm going to spray my Design Essentials Diamonds Oil Sheen, only because I like to see how it's laying as I go. So right here, all I'm doing is taking my wide tooth comb and combing that hair so that I can see how my layers are flowing, and you can see that I am going with the natural flow of the hair. It gives it a custom look when you cut the layers in. So now I'm going to kind of put my finishing touches in as I prep to do her line up. You want the edges of the hair to look as thin and natural as possible. So right here, I'm just using my trimmers to edge up around her ear, around the edges, and you can use any type of trimmers that you want. Today, I'm just using my Walls Peanut trimmers. They get the job done, but personally not my favorite. So you're going to go around the whole entire head. Some clients don't really like a lineup. They kind of like it to be frisky or like it to have that natural flow. But I like to do a taper. But make sure that whenever, if your client wants a taper, do not cut it too far up, because as time go by, it will lift. So always cut past the hairline where it would normally stop, to give it room for, if it start to lift or rise, you won't have to worry about having to go in and add more tracks. They can get more longevity out of it. When you get to the front, make your guide, then turn that blade to the side and curve downward. You don't want it to go straight down. You want to give it a curve so that you make the illusion as if it is a natural haircut. You don't want to rush this. Take your time and make sure that you clean everything up. Now that we have completed that side, I will now begin using my 12-inch and 10-inch Empire, and I will begin laying down all of the 12-inch hair on the side, and I will be double tracking as I go. For this side, you want to make sure that it is very, very full, and you want to keep those tracks as close as possible. There are times where I do lay more than two tracks on top of each other. It depends on what the client wants. Just know that if you use longer hair, you will have to lay lots of tracks on top of each other just so that you can get that fullness. For this style, I am going to use all of the hair. I know that's a lot of hair on one side, but you have to make sure that if you want it to look full, you have to get all of the hair in there. So all the way up until I get to the top where that track begins in the back, I make sure that I have the entire pack of 12-inch in. When you get to the front, you will lay your tracks going towards the face. You will go from side to side and fill that entire area in the top. You will use your 10-inch for the entire top. I will be using the closure out of the pack. You can make your own closure if you like, but personally for me, the closure in the pack does just as well as making your own. Everything is now laid, so now I'm going to separate the hair She don't have an actual part. It's actually just split, but this gives you an illusion as if the hair has a part, but it doesn't. So you're going to split that hair, comb it in place. Now I'm going to take my razor and even up the hair. Since the closure is a little bit longer than everything else, go back and blend everything in with your razor so that everything flows. To make sure that the hair stays in place and gives it more volume and lift, I'm going in with my bed head hard head and I'm going to spray that hair in place. This is going to help keep everything separated. Make sure that you blow dry the hair because you don't want it to turn white whenever you use your hot comb. Go in with the back of your hot comb. This will not burn your client. It shouldn't, but still be careful. But take the back of that hot comb and put it directly on top of where the hair separates. As you can see, the hair is lifted and it helps the hair to lay in the direction that you want it to lay. And now you're going to comb everything out. Go ahead and start separating that bang area from the side. Anytime that you are curling someone's hair, especially weave, you want to use smaller sections so that you pass that heat through all of the strands. Whenever I'm curling, I like to spray a little bit of the diamond oil sheen on the hair just to kind of lay down the frizz. I will be using a 1-inch curling iron to curl her hair. Whenever I go into curl, I am curling away from the face. You don't want to curl that hair in the wrong direction because your curls won't lay correct and they won't blend with your layers in the bang. So make sure that you curl that hair away from the face. Now it's time to cut in your layers, and I'll use my razor to add just a few layers to it, and you will be curling that hair going to the back of the head as well. After you have put in all your curls, it is time to now comb everything out and see how the hair is laying. And you can use a wide tooth comb to do this. Use a little bit of holding spray to lock your curls in or lay wherever you want them to lay. But this is pretty much the finished look. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would love to hear your feedback. If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comment section and I will do my best to get back with you. Thank you guys.